Okay, guys, welcome back. We've already done a part one. We discussed why we defend and what we would like the people to do that we expose their wrongdoing. The bottom line is we need to support Elvis and Lisa and the bloodline. We need to show regret for mistakes made in the past by the people that have trashed Elvis. We need remorse, regret, apology. Then we can all move forward, yeah? Rather than digging our heels in and just carrying on arguing, yeah? Okay, guys, so you can watch part one of that was on the live section of this channel. We also did a couple of videos this morning concerning, it was more of a, how can I say it? It was just me trying to tell the world how we defend, why we defend. Okay. All right, guys, let's press play. I'm in a bit of a rush, so I can't hang about. So I'm going to press play. This is a review of the Ultimate Fan, Elvis, the Ultimate Fan channel. He obviously goes to the Elvis Evolution. Someone told me Elvis Evolution shut for 2 weeks. Is that true? So we did watch Joel Weishanker say, you know, one of the owners of Elvis Presley Enterprises, say that they'd made improvements. They had a lot of problems, didn't they? I think Steve talks about it now. Steve is a great show. Please subscribe to him. He's very popular. He's been around a while. He knows his stuff. He's done some fantastic interviews. He's interviewed some of the most famous Elvis people in the community of Elvis. Even some quite, how can I say, controversial characters like Mike Stone. It was a very good interview. I think, did he interview Dave Hebler? He may have done. I'm not sure. Can't remember. But he's done some bloody good interviews. I highly recommend this channel, Elvis, the Ultimate Fan channel. So, guys, let's press play and let's listen to it.
Here is Elvis.
So just so you know, guys, I have not watched this. I purposely did not watch this so we can watch it together, me and Team Elvis.
This is Elvis, the Ultimate Fan channel, the global Elvis community fan channel.
Love it. Great introduction.
Hi everyone, welcome once again to Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel, the global Elvis community channel. Now, as you've probably guessed by the introduction to this video, this is my review or my opinion on the Elvis Evolution show that's currently running in London at the XL Exhibition Centre. And
okay, I'm going to jump forward a little bit because I don't have long, but obviously he's going to do quite a long introduction. He, as far as I can tell, he goes, yeah?
Anything for Elvis Evolution. So that's the first thing that struck me. So then we come to the day, the big day. Of course, we've all heard a lot of negative reviews about this from fans, from people who have been to the show, the press, all those sort of things.
So, guys, I remember when Steve did his first review, he didn't really want people to have any negative reviews, which I did find a little bit unusual. But in the end, the backlash was extreme. Yeah, we've done quite a lot of shows concerning this. Quite a few people in Team Elvis have been. It's pretty 50-50. Some loved it, some hated it. People talk about the cost of it. The big thing is they wanted a hologram. They never got it, so that upset everyone. We've seen the bit where the guy gets carried out. That was the worst PR thing that could have ever happened to them. Elvis Evolution did invite me as a VIP guest, and then they didn't follow through. I don't know why. They messaged me, said, do you want to come as a VIP guest? I was like, yep, I'd love to. And then they never messaged me again. So Elvis Evolution, if you watch my show, please follow through. You offered me a VIP invite, and you've gone quiet on me. Come on, guys, stick to your promises.
Since July, since I think it was the 18th of July, I believe, that it opened. So with that in mind, we decided that we would try and blot all that out and go with a completely open mind. Now, we did know prior to going to the show that there was no hologram. That was one of the major sticking points of this show, is the initial blurb, the initial release, if you like, and promotion and media sort of announcement was that there would be AI, there would be it would culminate in Elvis hologram, and then around about sort of, well, I suppose March, April time, they said that a vendor had unfortunately gone out of business and they would have to reschedule and push it to July.
And that caused a massive reaction. Many people lost their places. People that had booked travel arrangements and hotels. Everyone was worried they were going to lose their tickets, their money, that they'd lost money with these hotel bookings, these travel arrangements. And everyone was pretty upset, pretty scared. Yeah, I remember it was a big deal. Joe Weishanker has come out and said, I admit we made mistakes. I admit people were expecting the hologram. Joe Weishanker from Elvis Presley Enterprises has said, look, I agree, it was initially promoted as the possibility of sort of an avatar type program, hologram, if you want to call it that. People didn't get it. And we don't really know what went on behind the scenes. We've heard that certain people pulled out that were going to create the hologram. So anybody going to that place expecting a hologram was going to be upset,
And that's my own personal belief. That's when I think that things really changed for this show. I believe that it was around about then that they realized that they couldn't produce what they first promised. And
I think behind the scenes, Joe Weishanker must have been a little bit shocked because they did license this Elvis Evolution. I'm trying to remember what they're called again. Could you imagine secretly behind the scenes? You know, everything's rolling along. I was told that they had sold 5 million tickets. No, not 5 million. Sorry. They have 5 million pounds of tickets. Yeah, not million tickets. 5 million pounds of tickets by January 2023 or 4 or something. And then suddenly the hologram, they pulled the plug on it. Behind the scenes, they must have been running around like chickens without heads.
They had to make a major decision. Do we just scrap this and maybe do it at a later date, or do we try and carry on and fill in the gaps where this hologram should have been? And of course,
and I think Joe Weishanker tried to explain this, didn't he?
It now comes to light that they made the decision to carry on. This is all my own personal view. I don't know how accurate this is, but this is the feeling that I get. So we walk in and...
So he's talking about his experience, okay? He's gone. He's got I think he's got the £180 tickets, the middle ones, the sort of VIP-ish tickets. Let's keep going.
You go into Bob's Burbank Diner, okay, which is where you're welcomed. Friendly staff, everybody very, very welcoming. It's obviously based on Big Bob's Diner that was across the road from Burbank, the Burbank studios. There was an okay selection of food and drinks of the period, 1968. There was a jukebox playing Elvis songs the whole time. Great, fantastic, great.
So he's describing what happened, his experience. I'm trying to imagine it because obviously I haven't been.
Start. And I must say at this point that myself and my wife, we paid for the VIP, the middle rate. There was just the ordinary €75, the 180 VIP, and the €300 extra special VIP or whatever it was. We didn't go that far, but we paid for the 180. We were the only two VIPs in our group, the 145 group. So more about
So my guess is that all the others paid the £75, yeah?
that in a few minutes. So we wait for about 15, 20 minutes, taking all the atmosphere in. I mean, Bob's Diner was Burbank Diner was very nice. It was done out very authentically. The atmosphere was good. Food and drink was okay. And then we were called in. Myself and my wife were called in first. It said, anybody with VIP passes, please present yourself to the studio entrance now. So myself and my wife go through double doors. We walk down a corridor, and there are ladies with clipboards and headsets and mics.
So I'm trying to imagine it's me walking through, yeah? And then the ladies are waiting with the mics, etc. Okay, so let's just try and put ourselves there, okay?
And they say, welcome to Studio 4. So we're shown into the backstage area of NBC Studio 4 first. And we walk around, and it's sort of like a period sort of area where it's sort of 1968. And then
okay, so they're trying to sort of mimic the 68 comeback.
A guy comes in, you sit round in a circle sort of thing, and VIPs have an area where we're at the front. Not that it made much difference anyway, because it was only a small area.
Okay, so they put the VIP people at the front, but it's very small.
And it's called Backstage at NBC, and this lasts about 15 minutes. And basically what it is first of all, someone pretending to be somebody called Cameron is a trainee floor manager, and he's talking about welcome to NBC, and you know, it unfortunately the acting was quite a little bit too much. It was almost like,
so I'm guessing so far I don't think Steve liked it, but let's keep going.
Overboard, if you like. It was exaggerated.
Yeah, have a cup of tea.
If they could have acted just a little bit more natural, it wouldn't been maybe as
you got to have the tea, mate, to keep going.
As uncomfortable, if you like. You know, I know there was a lot of people kind of a little bit uncomfortable because of the overacting. And then a lady.
All right, so it's very theatrical. I've heard about this. A lot of people have told me.
Floor manager comes on then and tells him that they can't find Elvis because he's so nervous and he doesn't come on. And then Sam Bell arrives in the backstage area saying,
so Sam Bell, Elvis's friend from Tupelo, yeah?
That he got a ticket over in Big Bob's restaurant, and he's looking for Elvis. And she says, no, you can't come in, and all this. And then he kind of starts talking to us and puts on Mystery Train and sort of,
which I love,
asked people to sort of, you know, hey, what's your moves like? And he was sort of trying to get people to dance, but it wasn't kind of working.
You know, my wife would have danced.
And then the next thing is we're shown into a train. It's a fake train. It doesn't move. It vibrates at times, and there's a huge screen in front of us.
I've heard quite a few reviews on this train. A lot of people didn't like this part.
And this sort of supposedly teleports us back to Tupelo. And Sam is telling us all about them growing up and all that sort of thing. And then it takes us through Beale Street and obviously Elvis's gospel influences and things like that. This goes on for 35 minutes. So it's quite a long sort of session, if you like. And there's a few, I mean, I've got notes here that says that, you know, the acting in some of the Mystery Train sequence was very good, and some of it wasn't so good. They showed, obviously, the part where Elvis is in Sun Studios, but it's all done with sort of shadows and things like that. There's no hologram. It's just shadows and things like that of Elvis with a mic recording. there's something that kind of caught me by surprise. They hinted at a Sam Phillips and Marion Keisker affair. At one point, they get into a clinch, and he gets her up against the desk, which I didn't think was very appropriate, and I think it's actually not true. I remember reading Peter Guralnick.
So, guys, so far, not good. Not good so far.
Last train to Memphis, and it was sort of hinted that Marion had hoped for more from Sam, but Sam wasn't interested. So I'm not quite sure that is accurate. So that's something to watch out for. Another thing is, obviously, there was different actors for different groups. So maybe the actors weren't as over the top in other groups. I don't know, but because there was other groups coming behind us all the time. It wasn't the same actors for the same groups. So I will say that as well. So some of it was good in the Mystery Train, and some of it was not so good. And I enjoyed parts of the reenactments of some of Elvis's career in the from sort of 1953 to what they said sort of 1958 when he went into the army.
So guys, so far we are halfway through. Do you guys think he enjoyed it? Now, I haven't watched the second half. We've got 10 minutes left. Do you guys think he liked it? Because my gut feeling is that he didn't like it. I could be wrong. I haven't watched the ending. What do you think, guys? Put it in the comments. Did Steve like Elvis Evolution?
Then there's like what we call, or they call an interval, a 20-minute interval where you're shown into the Blue Hawaii bar. And again, it's not too bad. It's quite well themed. It's okay. There's music playing, of course. And there's a...
just so you know, guys, other people loved it. Like Elvis Lass. She's great. I love Elvis Lass. She's one of my favourite Elvis channels. She's beautiful. She loved it. She loved it. There are people that absolutely found it brilliant. Rick liked it. Rick, our Rick from Team Elvis, he liked it. Yeah. So Nicola has been. She thought it was okay, didn't she, Nicola? Yeah. She did send me a bit of a review. So it isn't all like anti. I mean, I don't think. I know that Jane went. I don't think Jane was that keen on it. Yeah. So some people say it's worth 75 quid. Some people say it's not.
This big screen showing Elvis and sort of more sort of things about his movies and things like that. And then there's commentary about how Marlon Mason says that he wished he could do a really good picture because he knew that Hollywood was laughing at him. And there's another sound clip from an interview I did with Tiger Beat's Ann Moses that says that the 68 special Elvis was like sex on legs. So then after about 15, 20 minutes, the staff from behind the bar disappear and Sam Bell reappears. And it kind of he has a conversation with a backing singer, one of the Blossoms, I take it, in the 68 special that says that she's just been recording with Elvis. And then the VIPs, myself and my wife, are shown into the green room of NBC's Studio 4. Again, only VIP, so it's just myself and my wife in there. There was some quite interesting artifacts in there. But again, nobody was sort of telling you what what you could look at and what you were seeing and things like that. I mean, fair enough. Myself, being a fan of over 50 years, I knew what I was looking at. But there would be other newer fans or just casual fans that wouldn't really know what they were looking at.
So I'm interested in what the age group was. Was it all people over 40? Or was it people under 40? Was it a mixed age group? I think Jane went. Was it a mixed age group, or was it mainly people over 40, over 50 and 60?
And then, of course, we get to the really sort of nitty gritty, if you like, and that is the 68 special and beyond. And again,
so this is where the hologram was wanted, yeah? It was expected, yeah?
And this goes on for 35 minutes. This this 35 minutes didn't seem as long as the 35 minutes of the Mystery Train.
So the Mystery Train bit was very tedious. He didn't like it. Now, I've heard there was a bit of AI on this that he's now going to speak about. Let's find out.
Probably because this was probably the most enjoyable part of the whole experience. Again, you've got the lady floor manager that comes on and points out the applause lights and says, I'm sure you know what that means. When they flash, we want to hear you applaud and everything like this. So she's trying to sort of make you believe that you are now the audience waiting for Elvis to come on. Obviously, this is another area where I believe the hologram would have fitted in, along with when we were on the Mystery Train and they were showing Sam and Marion and sort of the shadow of Elvis recording in Sun Studio. Now it shows it shows an actor in a black suit walking around, but it doesn't show his face. His face is in shadow, so it is an actor, obviously. It's not a hologram. And there is a picture on the Elvis Evolution website that shows Elvis's face in the bulb rimmed mirror in his dressing room, looking in the mirror, and you see Elvis's face. You don't see that in the show. He's just stood in front of the mirror, but you can see his midriff reflected in the mirror, not Elvis's face. There is a brief shot of an AI-generated Elvis where he looks like he's sort of sat in his dressing room. It's a large picture of Elvis, and you can see that he's kind of looking down nervously, waiting to come on. And then this is quite impressive. You've got Elvis's point of view following behind a stagehand as she leads him through the corridors, and you can hear Bob Finkel saying, "Get sort of, you know, getting the crowd ready." We've all heard this from the Elvis Presley outtakes of the NBC TV special. Welcome to NBC TV and the Elvis Presley special, and you can hear
Yeah, so I can see Jane is basically saying the 68 special part of the show was the best part. Yeah, I think I've heard that a few times.
Heartbeat is getting faster and faster and faster, and this is supposed to be Elvis's heartbeat. And you get to the double doors going in to the actual stage itself, and you hear Bob Finkel say, "And here's Elvis Presley." The doors open, and that moment, I fully believe, is where the hologram was going to begin.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But instead, the doors burst open and three musicians come on and sit on the red-rimmed stage that we know so well from the 68 TV special. And then Elvis is on big screens behind them, performing hits from the NBC TV special. And my wife actually said to me afterwards, she wasn't sure why the three musicians were there, because all the music was being played, obviously, it came from the NBC TV special. They weren't playing any of those instruments. However, when they came on afterwards, later, near the end of the show, they were actually playing those instruments. But my wife wasn't sure why they were there, and I think it was just to fill in where Elvis would have been standing on the stage.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
That's what it was. So.
Now remember, guys, I haven't watched this, so I don't know what's going to be said.
Yeah. Did I see happy faces? Yes, I did. Did I see unhappy faces? Yes, also.
I bet you did.
I didn't spot this, but my wife told me after we left that there was one lady who just stood in the corner during the 68 TV special final part that I'm talking about now, and refused to watch. The person she was with tried to, on numerous occasions actually, to get her to watch, but she just kept shaking her head and refused to watch it. So that was something that I didn't see, but my wife...
Yeah, come on, guys. There is a very big emotional reaction to that show. If you went there 100% expecting to see a hologram, you were going to shake your head. Yeah. So the backlash this program this show has had is unbelievable. Joe Weishankar must be going crazy. His head must be spinning. Will they save the day? I keep saying the only way they're going to save this show is if they put the hologram in. I know Joel said something about a show with Riley Q and where there will be a hologram. It's pretty obvious Elvis fans around the world now do want a hologram, whether it's on this show or a show at Gracelands. I don't think the fans are going to be happy until they get what was promised. I really believe that.
Brought that to my attention afterwards. And then, oh, by the way, the music in the 68 TV special segment at the end is very, very, very loud, extremely loud. And I've got to say this to Layered Reality that trying to make up for something by just jacking up the volume is not going to work. That doesn't.
Okay, and don't forget Layered Reality. Joel Weishankar did mention them and say that he had licensed them, that he felt that Elvis Evolution was incorrectly advertised and that people should get refunds if they were expecting a hologram. Joel Weishankar did call these people out and say, come on, Layered Reality, refund the people that are not happy. I don't think they have. I don't think Layered Reality have refunded anybody. But for Joel Weishankar in Gracelands, you know, one of the owners of Elvis Presley Enterprises who licensed to this show, yeah, to say that did put them on the spot. Some people say threw them under the bus. Some people say, will Layered Reality refund the people that just didn't get what they were promised? I don't think they're going to, but this is probably what they need to do. They probably can't afford to refund people. This show must have cost an absolute fortune to stage, even just to hire out that venue, the XL. My guess is that they may lose a lot of money. Will it even run the full course? Will Elvis Evolution even survive? I would say there's a good chance that it won't. I don't want to sound negative. How did they recover from this? How did they recover from such a terrible PR that they've had? The PR for this show is as bad as you can get. It must have really halted ticket sales. Many people tried to cancel that couldn't get refunds, were demanding refunds, didn't get refunds, so ended up going, like Jane, I think, was trying to cancel, but in the end, she couldn't get a refund, so she went. These people were still very disappointed with what they saw, obviously expecting a hologram. So it's a mess, isn't it? The whole thing is a disaster. But I must be fair, it's also had a lot of good reviews. It isn't all bad. It's had loads of good reviews. I've seen them, but it's had loads of bad reviews. Many people feel ripped off and let down.
Doesn't work. I'm sorry, but if you're trying to sort of cover the shortfalls with no hologram by jacking up the volume, no, it does not work. Definitely does not work.
There we go.
The after show all shook up party.
So Elvis Lass, she loved the after show. She loved it. She wasn't even drinking. She was just with her friend who has been on our show. I can't remember her name now. The girl that Elvis Lass went with is one of our team Elvis.
Okay. The DJ brilliant because he was playing all Elvis songs. The live band, okay.
So obviously the DJ's playing Elvis songs. What's not to like? Come on. Yeah, this is what I thought when I watched Elvis Lass's. Hang on, is that someone just? Right, I might have to go, guys. Let me just press play.
I know this sounds a little bit sexist, but it was a lady singing, and I didn't say this, but my wife actually said it. She says, you know, there's certain.
Yeah, my wife's here. I'm going to let it play out because there's only a minute.
Songs that really should be sung. Elvis songs should be sung by a man. She said, for instance, Burning Love just doesn't work really with a woman singing it. So that's just an opinion from a casual fan that maybe they should get a male singer. But
so I'm literally on the last minute. 1 second.
the female singer.
Yeah, my wife's here, so literally there's 2 minutes. I'll let it play. I'll go and talk to my wife quickly. But thank you so much for Steve at the. Please subscribe to his channel. He's fantastic. The Ultimate Elvis Fan channel. I'll let it play out, then I gotta go, guys.
In the band, and the band sort of accompanying her was okay. Was okay, but that's just one thing that was pointed out to me. Maybe they should have a male singer, not a female singer, because, oh, well, as we know, Elvis is male. So that's sort of my take on Elvis Evolution. Would I go back? Because I know there are people that are going back. They enjoyed it so much that they're going back again. Personally, I would not. I would not go back again. Once was enough. Do I think it was overpriced? I do, actually. I do think it's overpriced. For the €300, I'm not sure what much more they would have got than the 180 that we got, or even the €75 that people paid. You know, I mean, I know we got a photo with Elvis. You stand in front of a green screen, and then you have the photograph taken, and then they drop the Elvis in behind you. We got a free drink in the Blue Hawaii bar and a free drink in the after party, but that really doesn't add up to the difference between €75 and €180.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair description.
I think some of the show was really, really good, and some of it wasn't so good. So I'm sort of 50-50 on that.
So 50-50, that's what Jim said, 50-50.
Do believe it's incomplete. You could nearly see where along the show the holograms were going to fall, and where they'd sort of patched it up. So it's incomplete. I believe it's an incomplete show. And it was lacking in certain areas. I can see what they were trying to do. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel...
But does he think it was worth £75?
That because there was no hologram, a lot of people will be disappointed. However, as I will say, I did see happy faces as well. I did see people enjoying themselves. I did see people dancing along. I did see people... just having a great time in the after show party, all shook up. But I did see some people that were clearly disgruntled as well, and a little bit disappointed. Again, I'm going to say what a lot of people have been saying. I think you have to go with an open mind and experience it yourself, and obviously not expect to see what we thought we were going to see a couple of years ago when it was first announced, i.e. a hologram. That really, there's no more I can really say on it. If you have enjoyed the...
So I think, Jane, maybe I missed it. So he's basically saying it wasn't worth £75.
This video, and you want to see more from this channel, then please do subscribe and click the bell and select all notifications, and you'll get notifications every time I go live.
Okay, well, I want to thank Steve at Elvis, the Ultimate Fan channel. Definitely please subscribe to him. He really does run a brilliant channel, a very professional channel. Yeah, I'm very impressed with Steve's channel. Yeah, and actually, one of my favorite reviews that I've seen concerning Elvis Evolution, he takes us through it step by step. You know, from the moment he arrives, as soon as he enters Elvis Evolution, his description is excellent. Excellent. Yeah. So, hi, Lorraine. What was that? I was thinking of going, I would want reviews, reasonable tickets, and yes, the hologram. Yeah, you want the hologram. So, I thought that was a really, really good review. Seriously, honestly, guys, I think if you're thinking of going, everything you need to know is in Steve's review. So I give that review a 10. Really good. Really good. Thank you so much, Steve. Very helpful. Very helpful to the Elvis fans that want to go. Really, really good. I'm definitely going to be posting this onto my Defending Elvis Facebook page. And I've enjoyed watching it with you guys. Yeah, I love it when I watch things with you, and that was the first time I've watched it. So brilliant, brilliant. Now, would I go? I probably would not go. I wouldn't, obviously, if they invite me, maybe. I wonder if Elvis Evolution will follow through on their promise to me to do a review, which they haven't followed through. I don't know why. It seems like they've changed their mind. I'll be honest with you. So Cheryl says it wasn't worth the VIP experience. Cheryl says he didn't feel it was worth the £75. I will say this, guys. I am very worried about the future of Elvis Evolution. I do think it may fall down. Yeah. In a weird way, I feel that I've said this before on my other shows, that we, the Elvis fans, may end up being a big part of the reason why that whole thing shuts down because of our negative reviews. But at the same time, we are entitled to our negative reviews. You get it? So we're sort of shooting ourselves in the foot because we will end up losing a massive show in London called Elvis Evolution, which is not a common thing, is it? To have a giant XL building with this show, which is you are immersed in Elvis. When you walk into that building, I can tell from all the footage I've been sent and the pictures and the other reviews, like Elvis Lass's review was very good. You are immersed in Elvis. So that, for me, that's a good thing. Now, if I lived next door to it, I would go. Yeah, for £75, I'd go. But I have a feeling this is going to fall flat on its face. Honestly, guys, it wouldn't surprise me if there was an announcement that the whole thing, it has been scrapped. Maybe I'm wrong. I have a feeling that Joel Weishanker, the owner of Elvis Presley Enterprises, is going to completely reinvent this whole thing. I think the name Elvis Evolution will get thrown out the window. I think the whole thing is going to be rethought out. That's my prediction for the future. Sorry, guys, to Elvis Evolution, Layered Reality, we want that hologram. My advice to Layered Reality is do the hologram. Gotta go, guys. Take care. Bye. Love you all. You're the best.